Hello and welcome back to the Colorado Rockies franchise. We are now in episode 12. We went through the All-Star break last week as we had one representative and also went through the Home Run Derby. The Colorado Rockies currently sit at 35 and 56 on the season, in last place in the NL West. As we're going to go through up until the trade deadline now. We lose the first game out of the All-Star break as this was Jon Gray's first loss on the season. He was 8-0 heading into the All-Star break. He goes 6 innings, giving up 3 runs. Couple of minor league injuries. Carlos Herrera will be out 2 to 3 months. And we're going through a little bit more as we suffer some more injuries. We get swept by the Los Angeles Dodgers. We lost 4 going into the All-Star break and have now lost 5 after the All-Star break for a 9-game losing streak. That goes up to 10. Hedbert Perez tore his Achilles tendon, so he'll be out over 6 months. Hopefully he can be back for the next season at the start, as he was one of the players we acquired in the Michael Givens trade from the Brewers. We continue to lose. Teams were offering us trades towards the trade deadline, but it was mainly just our veterans for another veteran, which I wasn't interested in. And then as we get to the trade deadline, Josh Fuentes has fractured his forearm and will be out 2 to 3 months, so that'll keep him out the rest of the season. He was playing a good bit of first base for us after trading away CJ Cron to the Cincinnati Reds. So now we sit at 36 and 68. We lost 16 straight games there before beating the San Diego Padres. We have the worst record in baseball now, and that really made the decision easier as we got to the trade deadline. But a look at some of our statistics at this point: Charlie Blackmon up to 24 home runs, 68 RBIs. He's hitting .288 on the season. Brendan Rodgers has 10 stolen bases and 10 home runs. Hasn't hit a home run in a while though, as Charlie Blackmon is still having an outstanding season. Connor Joe, who got called up recently, leads us in on-base percentage, only 25 plate appearances though, and Charlie Blackmon's OPS still over 9. By far our best 2 pitchers this year are Jon Gray and German Marquez, as Gray and Marquez are both having career years, and they have our lowest ERAs on the team, save for one guy who we called up in the last episode, Julian Fernandez, who's pitched 10 innings and hasn't allowed a run yet, which is great to see. He has a whip at only 1.1 and has been very effective for us so far. So we would get to the trade deadline. We have a few pieces left to trade away after making 3 trades and trading away 4 players up in the lead up to the trade deadline. Jon Gray has made 21 starts this year. He would be a free agent after this year, but his service time was messed up. So whoever gets him will have him under contract for a little bit longer. Charlie Blackmon has been by far our best hitter even when we had Trevor Story on the team. Like I said, 24 home runs, 68 RBIs, OPS over 9, really getting back to his form after a little bit of a down year last year. The Rays are now in first place in the AL East after acquiring Trevor Story. The Twins have the best record in the AL as a whole, and then the Angels and Yankees are in the wild card spot. NL East is a pretty tight battle there, along with the NL Central, as the Cardinals are now in first place. We made trades both to the Reds and to the Brewers, but the Reds have fallen out of first place, so now we will head into the actual trades portion of this episode and finish off the fire sale that we have really been on. Charlie Blackmon is under contract for 3 years. Jon Gray, like I said, his service time is off, so he'll be under contract for whoever acquires him for a while. And German Marquez is also under contract as well. So Jon Gray would be the first player to be dealt. He's only 29 years old. He was our all-star representative, having his best season of his career. He has lost twice now, but his ERA is still under 3 in 21 starts and has been incredibly effective for us. And the Red Sox, they had a need for a starting pitcher. So we would make the offer for them, go out and find Blaze Gordon. He has a ton of raw power, great hitting ratings. His vision and discipline along with fielding are very lacking, but I think with time he could develop. He's only 18 years old, and with those hitting ratings at where they are right now, I think he has a ton of potential for us. Finding the last guy to really fill out this trade, it took me a while. There were guys like Tristan Casas who potentially were very interesting to me, but he is their top prospect. Didn't think that was super realistic, so we would end up finding Gilberto Jimenez, who is a good fielder, got good speed, only 19 years old in the game, and has decent contact ratings. Will never really hit for power, but I think as a center fielder with speed, fielding, and potentially good contact ratings, could be a very nice player for us as well. So we would go ahead and pull the trigger here, get an 18 and a 19-year-old, both be potential, and both with potential to be contributors for us. Next guy up, Charlie Blackmon. He has been around with the Colorado Rockies for his entire career. He is third in run scores in the history of the Rockies, second in hits and stolen bases. He's having a great year this year, and with Gray and Blackmon, I really wanted to sell high on them. He is under contract for 3 years, but I think as he continues to go, he'll probably regress a little bit and not be quite as good. So the first player who is very interesting to me, the Twins, like I said, have the best record in the AL. They do need a little bit of help in terms of their offense, was Royce Lewis. He's seen his potential go down this year. He's still only 20 years old in the game. He was the #1 overall pick in the draft a couple years ago and just has been down at AAA for them. So I thought he would be a good buy low candidate. And then also Jorge Alcala. He's a relieving prospect, sort of similar to Perez that we got from the Cincinnati Reds. He's only 25 years old. He spent a little bit of time in the majors so far. Throws really hard, has a hard slider that breaks hard as well, and I think could be a nice piece for us in our bullpen as we move forward. And then to complete the deal, we include Anthony Garcia to really round it out and make everything even in terms of players. So Charlie Blackmon is headed to the Minnesota Twins to try and help them win a World Series. We did have one more trade piece that we could trade away, and that was German Marquez. He's having by far the best year of his career. He's a guy that we could keep and for a couple years maybe try and re-sign in the future. He's only 26, but I think with the direction this team is headed and how bad I think we're going to be next year, I wanted to get some prospects out of him and really get some value. So the Braves are fighting for the NL East and for the NL wild card. They had Mike Soroka go down with an injury. He tore his labrum as he didn't have any injury heading into this year in this save. And then also Ian Anderson, one of their best young pitchers, also is out for the season with a torn rotator cuff. So they were in serious need of a starting pitcher. And so I was looking at Yanoa and Touki Toussaint. Touki Toussaint he was a former first-round pick. He has elite stuff, but in terms of his major league appearances so far in his career, he hasn't really been able to show that. He struggled with his control, struggled with his walks. He has 35 walks this year in 51 innings pitched. But I think in terms of just his stuff as a whole, he definitely has a lot of potential. And we would also go out and add Kyle Wright. He's another guy similar to Touki Toussaint in terms of he hasn't had a ton of major league success, but just when you look at his stuff, he is outstanding. We would also include Sam Freeman, didn't want him on the roster anymore, and it gives the Braves another bullpen arm. But Kyle Wright, another first-round pick, was drafted #3 overall, and I think he has potential to either be a back-of-the-bullpen guy for us or a starter in the rotation if he can figure it all out. Made a number of roster moves to really get our roster set up for the last couple months of the season. Our starting lineup now, Brendan Rodgers still in the leadoff spot. Matt Adams takes over at first base with Josh Fuentes out for the season. Chris Owings to second base. We're going to play a little bit of Garrett Hampson at second base as well. He's been spending most of his time in the outfield. But with how well Jonathan Daza has been playing and wanting to get another look at Sam Hilliard, I think he'll play a little bit more in the infield. Ryan Castellani will be called up to the majors to make his season debut. He's been in the majors a little bit as a long relief guy for us this year. Kyle Wright and Touki Toussaint will be heading to the AAA rotation and just give them a little bit more time to marinate and see if they can improve. I really like our AA lineup. This is where I put basically all of our prospects. I don't see any of them making it to the majors this year, and I just want them to have as much time to develop as possible. The pitching rotation has Antone Kelly, Hunter Green, and Shane Baz, all guys that we required as well. And then Cionel Perez will be our closer down there. So with the trades that we've made, we've really revamped this farm system. And this also isn't even showing the guys that we drafted. So I think this team The farm system is in a much better position than when I took over, and I think there's a lot more potential throughout all of the ranks for this team as well. So the first game after really finishing off our fire sale, we see Derek Rodriguez really struggle, giving up 6 runs and 10 hits. It was a tough month for Jordan Sheffield. Kyle Wright wasn't great in July for the Braves. We did have one of our young shortstops have a good month. Peter Lambert was very good in Double-A, and Tyler Kinley as well. So with Derek Rodriguez going to be sent back down to Triple-A with his ERA over 8, I had the decision here, do I call up Touki Toussaint or Antonio Santos? Tuki's been a little bit better this year at Triple-A, but I really like Santos' ability to get strikeouts. He doesn't have the best ERA at Triple-A, but I just want to see what he has to offer. He was in the majors a little bit last year, and so he would get the start in the series finale against the San Diego Padres, taking on Joe Musgrove, and wanted to play in PNC Park. We haven't played there yet this season, I don't believe, and it's one of my favorite ballparks in all of the majors. Just great scenery all around, and a pretty ballpark in my opinion. Joe Musgrove would be on the mound for the Padres, as they've really bounced back. They're back into second place in the NL West and have a wild card spot secured currently. We'll have to see how the rest of the season plays out though. Santos made 3 appearances last year in the majors, including 1 start, and wasn't great at all. He really struggled, ERA over 10, and his first batter he faces, it's lined out to Matt Adams, who will be playing at first base for us a good bit down the stretch. And just see what we're able to get out of him, as he will be a free agent after this year. But there is Sam Hilliard in left field, as he just misplays the ball badly. It gets past him all the way to the wall, and that'll allow a triple for Jake Cronenworth. That's his 10th on the season, which is pretty incredible, and he leads the National League now by 2 after that one. This is hit to Brendan Rodgers, who makes the throw to first base, and if Hilliard just took a little bit better of an angle, that probably doesn't end up scoring a run, as Manny Machado grounds out there. Now we head to the second. Sam Hilliard makes up for his mistake as he crushes the breaking ball into right field. That was a power swing all the way, 107 off the bat. I think that may be the hardest hit ball we've seen all season, and that's what he does. He has great speed, decent fielding, but his biggest calling card is his power, and we really see it showcased there. Now Garrett Hampson up as he hits this one into center field. He hasn't been great this year for us, but does get a nice hit there to get him on first base. Raimel Tapia is up, and Hampson takes off, and he's thrown out and caught stealing there. We haven't seen him successfully steal a base so far this year in the action that we've watched. It would be Connor Joe, who is our DH in this lineup, grounding out for the final out of the inning. Santos up again, and his sinker was on today. It is a dirty pitch, has nice break, sits around 92 to 95, and nice slider there for the final out of the inning as he picks up his 2nd strikeout on the day. Estuary Ruiz hits this one over the outstretched glove of Garrett Hampson for a 1-out single, as the Padres may have a little something going in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Tommy Pham is up, as it'll be Ruiz taking off, and the throw it bounced in front of Garrett Hampson. He had to readjust, and it would be a stolen base for Ruiz. Close play at the plate, but he does get in there safely. Now Tommy Pham gets past Santos, but Hampson is there for the 2nd out of the inning. So only 1 out to go, and see if Santos can escape this inning with no more damage done. But he will not be able to. It's hit to Hilliard in left field. Didn't have a play on the ball, and that will be another run scored for the Padres, as it's Jake Cronenworth once again with another hit. He may be one of the more valuable players on this Padres team. He made the All-Star game, but there is another strikeout for Antonio Santos. Offense outside of the Sam Hilliard home run wasn't really able to get much going, as Ryan McMahon strikes out there to end the inning, as we'll now head to the bottom of the 4th. Nice slider down and out of the zone to get Will Myers swinging for his 4th strikeout on the day. Now Austin Nola up with 1 out as he pops this one into right field and just barely stays fair, as now it's Raimel Tapia making a bad angle on it. and that will be a 1-out double for the San Diego Padres. Trent Grisham up, nice play by Matt Adams on the snag, and gets the throw over to first base for the second out, but the runner will advance, so it'll be 2 outs. As, like I said, Matt Adams playing more with Josh Fuentes out for the season. He has been great for us, but that would be a flyout to end the 4th inning to Sam Hilliard, so we're still down by 1 run with Hampson, Tapia, and Connor Joe coming up next. So to the top of the 5th as Tapia gets on first base after he walks, and then 2-0 count for Connor Joe, just barely gets in the zone. That's followed up with another questionable strike call, so 2-2 for Connor Joe. He hits it hard, but Manny Machado right there. Easy snag for him at third base. So 1-2 count for Dom Nunez as he pops this one up into left center field, but easy routine play for Trent Grisham to end the top of the 5th inning. So it would be a 3-2 count as we head to the bottom of the 5th, probably the last inning for Antonio Santos. As Ruiz gets on base once again, it would be a 1-out single. Now Tommy Pham up, coming on is Raimel Tapia. Nice catch there for the second out of the inning. So 1 more out to get out of this. Jake Cronenworth up though. He hits this one hard. He was 2 for 2 in his first 2 at-bats, but Tapia makes the play as he was heading towards the warning track for the final out. And it would be Ryan Castellani who comes on to replace Antonio Santos. He went 2 2/3 in his first appearance and allowed a number of runs and allows 1 here. 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Will Myers sends it out into left field. Only goes about 369, but it would be a home run nonetheless as the Padres extend their lead out to 2. Castellani trying to get out of the inning as Trent Grisham is up. He hits this one into center field, but routine play for Jonathan Daza for the final out of the inning. Connor Joe up in the top of the 8th as nothing was really happening as he hits this one, and Cronenworth goes all the way out as Mark Melanson is on. Excellent play by Jake Cronenworth for the out. So it would be Brendan Rodgers up, and he goes down on the cutter out of the zone. Nice pitch there by Mark Melanson. It would be Castellani still on as this one is hit into left field, and Hilliard misplays it. It'll roll all the way up to the wall, and that will be a lead-off double. Another poor play in the outfield by Sam Hilliard today. Manny Machado up, nice slider there, cuts back into the zone and gets him for the strikeout, his first on the day. It would be Will Myers up, he crushes this one, he homered last time. Daza going back, and he makes the play. What a grab in center field, headed all the way to the wall. We'll get a second look at this one as he gets all the way to the wall, makes the jumping grab. Runner does advance, but this one would be hit into right field. Nice play and easy play for Raimel Tapia. Tim Hill will come on. He's 14 for 14 in save opportunities in 41 games, 4-0 on the season. And this sidearm delivery gives me trouble. We saw it earlier this year with Tyler Rogers, as now Matt Adams up and just barely misses too early on the slider. That one was 110 off the bat. He would have absolutely crushed that one if the timing was a little bit better. This one, though, easy ground ball for the second out. And we're down to our final out today and still need 2 more runs. Sam Hilliard has our only run on the day, but he strikes out here on the low fastball on the corner for the final out as the Padres win 3-2-1 as we get our first look at the new look Colorado Rockies, as we've traded away most of our best players at this point, and we'll have to see what we're able to do to rebuild this team, how our prospects turn out, and also what are we able to do in terms of other trades to acquire maybe some major league talent or in free agency. I don't expect this season to last much longer, maybe 1 or 2 more episodes, may just send through all of August and then play a little bit in September, and that just be the final episode. Or we may play through August and play through September. Just hard to know. Want to figure out how much I want to see from this team moving forward. I kind of want to see some of the prospects we acquired, guys like Tuki Toussaint or Kyle Wright, make it to the majors this year, but they'll also be with us for a while longer, so may not be super important. But I hope you did enjoy today's episode. If you did, please leave a like down below. Comment down below, what do you think about the final trades we made? Ended up making 6 trades. I think we really rebuilt our farm system in a great way. And just let me know, what was your favorite trade that we made, or which prospect that we acquired are you most excited about? Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the Colorado Rockies franchise as we continue this rebuild. And now is really where we start to build this team, as we basically bottom out and see what we're able to make this roster better for the future. But I will see you next time. I hope you have a great rest of your day.